it's come to the time where I need to do a take two. It still is a little bit milky. I've done a series of tests with the water-based polyurethane that I was wanting to use. I've had to abandon this. You might think, so what? Move on to the next product. That's not so easy. You just can't know everything. I'm actually a little bit nervous, but excited at the same time. And I think you guys are gonna like this. Oh yeah, people, this is looking good. Well, it's come to the time where I need to do a take two on the polyurethane for these beautiful panels. I must say, I've really become attached to these panels, the way that they look, and I sort of advance with a bit of trepidation. I just don't want them to lose the look. So what I'll do first of all is I'll get a bit of plywood and see how it goes. Well, that's after 1 hour and it's actually dry to touch. I sort of decided that I would wait 2 hours because, all things considered, in speaking with the manufacturers, I sort of thought 2 hours might be a good test, given that before I just waited 45 minutes. Okay, so now I've done my sample piece, and it is definitely a bit of a learning experience, to be honest, having realised that I just don't know this product. And so taking the time, doing a bit of trialling here with this test piece. This section here, I did 2 coats, but the second coat was 2.5 hours after the first coat. This second coat was 1 hour after the first coat. And so how does it look to me? Well, just to say up front, there is an overspray mark here, which was from when I put this second coat on. So we have to ignore that, and that is fair enough. And it does depend where you have the light on this, but I guess the first 2 impressions that I have are, one, it still is a little bit milky or obscure, and the second is it's even more glossy than satin, and it was explained that the more coats you put on, the glossier it gets. So that's only 2 coats and it is fairly glossy. Here's something interesting to say. It doesn't feel hard glossy like normal polyurethanes. It does have a slight plastic feel to it, as opposed to like that hard polyurethane like on the hull here. I guess it's the difference between touching a hard plastic container versus a glass bottle. That's sort of a difference. So tomorrow morning, let's see how that goes. So I've done a series of tests with the water-based polyurethane that I was wanting to use. I've sprayed on 2 sections. This one here is with a brush, foam brush, and this one is with a roller. I really have persevered and I've tried to get this to work, but the end of this story is, try as I did, and I did try, I just cannot get this water-based polyurethane to come out and to work as both claimed and expected. So as you can see here, I've just got labels on top of each, and those details are to just record the date, the time, and what was done. And what I can say is that that milkiness just seems to remain, number one, and number two, that plastic coating where it can actually be scratched and picked also remains, as you can see by these little pics on each sample. I've spoken with the manufacturer and the supplier, and very, very fortunately, they've agreed to take the product back and refund my money, which I'm very, very pleased about. It was quite a bit of money that I had spent. You might think, so what? That didn't work, move on to the next product. That's not so easy. Like everything, when you're building a boat, a few people have left comments on some prior videos where they've been commenting about how incredible it is that I'm doing this whole project on my own, but specifically they have acknowledged that when you're doing a project like this, where you're doing everything on your own, every single thing you do, of course, you can't be an expert in, and none of us have 12 different trades or professions that we're proficient in to start doing a big project like this and then just know everything and how to advance with selecting the right tools, the right products, and apply the right techniques. You just can't know everything, and that applies to all of us. There's just so many different skills and knowledge that's needed to tackle and take on such a big project, whether it's just you or if you're a couple, which means you have to research, and also do some trial and errors. I now have a lot more knowledge and some experience, so that's a good thing. And that's what happens. Everything you tackle, you're gaining knowledge and some experience, and it helps with making decisions beyond to get things how you want them. What next? That product didn't work for me. I need to choose another one, but which one? What I've done is, after looking online and looking at the big brand stuff, I've actually drawn up a bit of a table. My decision has been that I do still want to use polyurethane for its really hard durability, and also because some have good UV suppressors or blockers. That's the way I want to go. I know that there's other options, oils, etc., but my decision has been to continue with the polyurethane, and I've ended up arriving at 3 different products: Norglass's Northane Clear Gloss, Allwood's Clear Gloss, and Jotun's Extreme Gloss. I won't go through all the details of comparing those. Suffice to say, what I've arrived at is... So that's the new direction, that's the new product. Going for all grips, all wood, and what I've got here actually is the Clear Gloss, but also the Satin Matte. Now the reason for that is because after speaking with not only the rep for All Grip products, but others as well, the advice was to build up some coats with the high gloss or the gloss, and then 1 or 2 coats of satin on top to take away that really high gloss. What they said was, if you only go for the satin gloss, it actually, on building it up, obscures a bit of the clarity of the wood underneath, which obviously I don't want to do. But at the same time, I don't want to have it absolutely gleaming in your face every time you go below. That might be nice the first time when you look at it, but when you're living in a boat, you want it to have that warm, livable feeling about it, not like it's on show every single time you're trying to look anywhere. So that was my decision. It has differences to the other mineral-based polyurethanes in that it's a single pack product. Obviously there's differences between the 3 products that I was looking at, and each have their strengths and reasons that I didn't want to go for them. Cost definitely was one of the factors, although this wasn't actually the cheapest option. Other things considered, I think that this is going to be the option that hopefully is going to work for me. This can be sprayed on, rolled on, brushed on. Apparently rolling is the least recommended option, so my preference is going to be spraying. I've actually had a long conversation with reps of each product actually to really get a good idea of how to use it, how to apply it, and what I can expect. So let's see what happens. I'm actually a little bit nervous, but excited at the same time. I'm keen to get going on getting these finished. So today, what I'm going to do is sand back this panel. I'll be using 180 grit paper just to take off a thin coat to roughen up that epoxy. wipe it down. The instructions advise just vacuuming and then wiping down with water, the same as I was doing with the epoxy. Then it's a case of mix up a small amount of the Allwood clear gloss. I can overcoat in the same day, putting 2 coats on, so I'll mix up enough for that, and let's see how this goes. Okay, well it's done. I've put the first coat down. It looks great, but it has a slight problem, which I'll explain in a moment. Just to mention though, I did a test piece, which I didn't film. Let's go and have a look at that. So here's the test piece, and it actually came up really nice. I think you can see the reflection. That's my hand there, which I did just before spraying that first panel. So I was happy with that. So I was happy to go ahead and spray the panel, which I've done. And I think you guys are gonna like this. So yes, from a distance, it looks good. It looks very good. However, one thing that I can see are little fish eyes. If I scan that camera slowly, you can see them glisten. Just little fish eyes. Now, I'm not sure what that problem is. I don't know whether it's dust. I don't know whether it's maybe a little bit of residue left on the panel. I also can say that they seem to be resolving a bit as the minutes are rolling. So what I'm going to do is recoat it, but I'll leave it for 2 hours, which is the minimum recoat time. And I'll have a look at it obviously and see what it's looking like. I was so excited and also anxious about doing this that I forgot to wear my shirt. So I've got a little bit of stickiness on the hairs of my arms. And also I actually forgot to strain the paint. Now whether that's causing a little bit of problems as well, not sure. But now that the initial nervousness is over, I'm going to be fine-tuning it and correcting mistakes, hopefully. So when it comes to coating all of the panels, I've got it right. Oh yeah, people. This is looking good. I'll show you in a moment, but it's got that real three-dimensional sort of hologrammy look again, back to that beautiful rosewood. It is really, really good. I'm on a bit of a learning curve here with using this product. Already there's probably some things I'll do slightly different to improve things. I actually think that I want to put one more coat of the gloss on. I just think that'll be better. And then what I'll be doing is putting 2 coats of the satin on, and that will just sort of moderate that high gloss a bit. But goodness, this has got me out of where I was, and I can now move on. Woo! February and March were a couple of tough months for me, with heavy weather here, some personal concerns, needing a break, and I got to take a short one, and the lengthy problems associated with the Aquacoat polyurethane I tried to get to work. But I am out of all of that, and with the shutdown of most things, re the virus, I am back to forging ahead in my quiet spot here with Mistress, with my head down, getting things done. This is going to work. This is going to give me exactly what I wanted. I'm very pleased with it. Please stay tuned ahead, everybody, and please stay safe, healthy, and sane. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell, and share. I'd really, really appreciate that.